I'm disappointed in my country, and now I am politically atheist. I've been left out and let down. I'm pissed off, but I'm still proud, for I am truly an unruly patriot. I've always been enamored with our red, white, and blue, colors once so radiant, but they've had their dye wrung dry so tight that it's dyed, withering into pastel gradients. We've lost all faith in honest elections and the elected, sick of governance since government has grown infected. Perhaps it's the ineptness of the inaugural marionettes, the empty puppet heads with their pools of foolish political agendas sitting on a windowsill to cool. Yeah, appearance is perfected, but the application for the American dream, return to sender double stamped it's been rejected. This country is in a deep need for constitutional revival. We're losing our pulse, plummeting vitals. And I suppose it started not long ago, when the screens that glow replaced the place that used to hold our bedside Bibles. Too long we've cowered, like cowards under the covers of denial. But our power, I've not forgotten, nor the wars that my forefathers have fought in, to preserve a promise that one day my days could transcend the common, that the road to my purpose might shorten and soften. A reality that was just a seed in my ancestry was for me to succeed, to chase endless possibilities whenever I please, or to slip into slumber and sleep and dream of scenes that were pure as clouds and cozy like cotton. So, we are not some consumers or clients, peasants or cogs in the machine. We are not some John Does or nodes comprising a population for a simulation on your computer screen, nor are we the sheep to be blindly led to our slaughter. We are not rabbits that need a carrot or a stick, and we are not cattle or cannon fodder. Because we are not the problem. We are not a burden or a bother. Because never have I been a waste of air, a waste of space, merely a meat suit unsuitable to be situated in the wrong time and the wrong place. No. We are not your subjects or your suspects, your fan base or your servants, and we are not undesirable, undeserving, poor, pitiful persons. Because we are not and never will we be yours to own, rent, lease, occupy, colonize, or for you to try to institutionalize. Because we're not yours to keep, for you to collect like a prize or to manipulate, and certainly not for you to indifferently utilize. Who could imagine this prison planet with its tradition of suicide? We let the terminally ill set the conditions. They lift their right hand to say aye. It's pushing people every day to commit political apartheid or to part-time and plotting a patriotic tyrannicide. You know, if we can't count on con men to be honest, then how could we with the Congress or any other conference of conglomerates and their confidants in the caucus that are casually talking over coffees in the dining hall of a consulate, or prepping the cameras for a press conference to dodge cues by the latest columnist so they can spout some nonsense sentiments and statements on behalf of a president to reassure us that our tax dollars aren't being spent to fund a circus. And they do this with descriptive, non-specific verbiage, circular logic and wordage that's broken up by stopwatch allotted pauses. So they can say things like, we're exploring all options and working around the clock to solve all the problems. That's not inflation. That's just transitory losses. And with that, I will refer you to the Department of Defense Attorney General's office, lecturing us millions on mis, dis, and mal-information. You hide the life-changing legislation deep in a bill of over 4,000 pages. You know that vapid, verbose vernacular is spectacularly unspectacular. It's just words that are jammed like an oversized ham into too small of a pan on Thanksgiving dinner, except it's much harder to digest. You know what goes for us must also go for you. I believe that all politicians should be thoroughly and strictly, routinely drug tested with mental health checked up daily and bi-weekly assessments. Because how come in a land with people so prosperous that so many of us find getting by is just a little too arduous, and yet we can still somehow foot the redacted bill for the powerful anonymous? We did not authorize for you to print libraries full of dollars, so you could surely bring poverty down upon all of us. And who said that you get a say for how our lives are lived out here in the populace? It's stunning, your sheer and utter pompousness. You say that we are competent enough to vote, mature enough to consent, our tax dollars spent when you demand our support, and yet we're somehow not allowed to know what all of our money went towards. We employed you to ensure that our rights continue to endure. Never were they meant to be a weapon for you to wield and rule. Because I refuse to be abused, to let my hard-earned dues be used against me, to be pushed into the blues by the steel-toed boot-heeled of the few that I have paid to protect me. The nerve of those whose funds from my proud front pocket were to serve yet neglect me. You bite the hand that feeds you. I think you forget who you're disrespecting. So forgive me if I sound unforgiving, but I'm beginning to forget the point in this life that we are all living. Or perhaps it's just the feeling that I should be retreating. Should I forego all of my good favor and deny your taking from my giving? Because why am I wasting my nickels and dimes and my precious time stressed over that which you could care less for? These are human lives, not some pawns to play on your chessboard. So I'll call you out for what you truly are. Cheap salesmen with bad intentions, cheats, liars, thieves, as bad as it gets. Two-timing, insolent, soul-snatching, garbage can variety pimps. Self-important pirate wussies, a worthless herd of asses, sentient cancer being, narcissistic, heavyweight, champion architects of disasters. And like your control, that never stops. I could go on and on. Just know that you're not going to win this in the long run. Because even if I'm bested, laid to rest, and I'm dead and gone, presented to my creator in a box bearing all of my flaws, I would still prefer my cold casket to your fatal fate of being a fraud. I will be able to face my judgment day, although I admit it will be hard. But it's better than the life you're choosing to lead in your old facade. Because at the end of this waiting, there will be God. And foolish be those who oppose the side we all know he will sit on.